Okay, so now let's talk about cost classification. There are 4 ways we can classify cost: by element, nature, function, and behavior. If we want to classify by element, so there are going to be 3 major cost elements: materials, labor, and expenses. So materials, how much of materials we use to produce this very item. Labor, how much personnel was used, how much labor hours multiplied by the labor rate was used to produce. Expenses are costs that are regularly incurred in running the business, but that are not materials and labor, such as rent, such as utility cost, insurance, telephone, and so on. Okay, this is like a major cost classification, and of course we can go even further. Like, for example, we can subclassify materials into raw materials, into components, which means that they are complete parts that are used in manufacturing process, well, which means that they do not require, let's say, some bending or cutting. There may be consumables, well, for example, cleaning materials like cleaning stuff, because, well, we do need to clean the equipment. Maintenance materials such as spare parts for your machinery and so on. But these 3 are the main classifications of elements. Another way to classify is by nature. And when we classify by nature, we classify cost into direct and indirect. And what is the difference? Direct cost, there is a cost that can be directly traced to the cost object that we are trying to cost. And indirect cost, that cost that cannot be directly traced to a single cost object. And for example, production overheads, such as factory rent, such as electricity, these are indirect costs. Non-production overheads, such as administrative costs, such as distribution, selling, finance, marketing, whatever you call them, these are non-production overheads. Overhead means that the cost is indirect. Then we can classify cost by function. So we classify them to production cost and non-production cost, and you remember that from the cost card. So production cost will be direct cost and overheads, and direct cost are prime costs and consist of materials, labor, and expenses. And non-production, these are costs that are not directly involved in the manufacturing of costs of product product or provision of a service, but they're still needed to support the company so that it can actually produce products or make services. Okay, so this is classification by function. And the last but very important is classification of cost according to their behavior. So there can be 4 types, which are fixed cost, which are stepped cost, variable cost, and semi-variable. And what is fixed cost? Fixed cost, and this is an official CIMA definition, is a cost which is incurred for an accounting period with certain output or turnover limits and tends to be unaffected by fluctuations in the levels of activity, output turnover. So we pay for rent regardless of whether we produce 15 items or 16 or 17. But what is important is the word limit. So fixed cost is not the cost that is fixed and that's it, fixed. It is going to be stepped in ranges. And that's why there is like a sub-definition, which is called step cost. Step cost are fixed costs that change when the next range of activity is reached. So, for example, if you want to produce 1,000 items, then it is enough to get just one factory. So factory rent is going to be fixed. But if you want to produce from 1,001 items to 2,000 items, then you are going to be needing another factory. So you will need two factories. So your rent will double. And if you want to produce more than 2,000, then you are going to rent another factory and so on. So they are fixed, but fixed means that they are not affected by the changes in activity within a certain limit, within a certain range. But it does not mean that they are fixed for forever. Variable costs are costs that varies with the measure of activity. So let's say if we say materials, then materials, the amount of materials that we are going to use depends on how many items we are going to produce. Semi-variable costs are those costs that contain both fixed and variable components, and therefore they're partly affected by the change in the level of activity. Well, if we say electricity in the factory, so on one hand, this cost contains fixed element because we need to actually turn on the lights so that our workers can see anything. But also we have a variable element because the more we produce, the more we need to use the machinery, each and every piece of machinery. So the more items we produce, the more variable electricity components spent on running the machinery is going to be used. So let us have a look how this is going to be reflected on graphs. And this is very important because you are going to be tested, because you're going to be asked what does it mean from the point of view of graph. So you will have two types of graphs. One of the graphs that you are going to have is going to look like that. You are going to have activity level, so output or activity level. And on the vertical axis, there's going to be total cost. So it's going to be total cost. And the other graph is going to be cost per unit. So you're going to have output. And here you're going to have cost per unit. And let us have a look. What if we have fixed costs? So how will it be? How it will look here. So fixed cost is going to be the same regardless of the output. So it's going to be like that. But actually, we already told that fixed cost, they take steps. So it's going to be stepped cost. So this part is fixed cost. And the whole line is stepped cost. And this is what we have if we have a fixed cost, if we want to calculate the total cost. Now let's think what's going to be in respect of cost per unit. When we produce just a few units, then our cost per unit is going to be great. But if we start to produce more, then our cost will actually decrease. Okay, let me get back. Now, the line is going to be, something is terribly wrong with my presentation, sorry. The line is going to be, okay, let me do it like that. No, how come it does not work there, but works here? Okay, one more time. The line is going to be like that. And now it's not working here again. Okay, I'm going to write it here. Sorry for that. Okay, so it's going to be output. And it's going to be cost per unit. So for fixed cost, the line is going to be like that. Well, if it's a stepped course, then the line is going to be more, well, it's not tested, so the line is going to be following that pattern. So it's going to be like downward slope, but it's not going to be like a downward. It's going to be, see, it's not like that, not like a downward slope, but it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like more like a side of a parabola, so it's not straight. Okay, so what's going to happen with our variable cost per unit? If this is a variable cost per unit, that on our total dollar value, what we are going to get is the following. So if we do not produce anything, then our variable cost per unit is 0. If and the more we produce, the more we get of total cost. So it's going to be an upward slide, and that value, that angle, is going to be the more, the higher is the variable cost per unit. But we will look at that in detail when we are going to attempt our linear programming. Okay, so this is variable cost per unit, if variable total cost. Now, what's going to be if we want to calculate cost per unit? And let us calculate, let us have a look here. So variable cost per unit is going to be the same regardless of how many output we have, because we pay the same amount of money. Let me try that again. Okay, something is terribly wrong with this presentation. Yeah, it's going to be like that. So this is a variable cost per unit. Now, what is going to be if our cost is not variable, but is semi-variable? So if the cost is semi-variable, then this means that we actually start not from 0, but from some other point. Why? Well, because we have to light up the factory no matter what. So let me take this blue ink and I will write it here as follows. So this is semi-variable cost. And what's going to be if we want to calculate cost per unit? So if we are going to calculate the cost per unit, then the fixed part is going to follow this pattern, and the variable part is going to follow this pattern. So in the end, what we are going to get is something like that. Oops, sorry for that. Something is terribly wrong with this presentation today. What is very important to notice is that variable cost per unit graph is the same as our fixed cost part of the graph. So look, the fixed cost part of the graph is here, and it's horizontal, and the same with variable cost per unit. So you will be tested, you will be asked what cost this graph relates to, what type of cost. Okay, and that's it. So there are 4 types of cost for a classification of costs which you need to know.